You know what time it is? It's time for the Real Talk Sports Show, Saturday edition, coming up right now. Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, the Minister Jonathan Simmons, and we thank God for those of you who are watching and listening right now to the Real Talk Sports Show. We also want to give a big shout out to those of you who are listening to us via replay or on the archive. We appreciate you very much that those of you take time out of your schedule because that means you're listening to us on demand. And that's really, really cool. And we appreciate you for doing that. All right, remember, you can follow us anywhere on social media, and we would ask you to do so. Follow me and follow the show right here the following ways. You can follow us on Real Talk Sports, the number 7, or you can follow us at Minister J Sim. You guys can see I'm not in the studio this morning because I have an actual full-time job besides doing sports. I am located right now at Allen Vigil Ford in Lincoln, and they are our premier sponsor, as you guys know, for high school football. And we will be doing Good Lord willing high school football again this year. So keep it locked right here on the show. And remember, it is Allen Vigil Ford and Lincoln. They are a premier sponsor. And there it is right there. You'll see a high school football game of the week. We do it normally from Tara Stadium. It is now officially called, actually, a couple of years ago, they started calling this. It's actually called Hines Ward Field at historic Tara Stadium, named after Hines Ward. Many of you may not know that the former Super Bowl MVP and former star of the Pittsburgh Steelers actually grew up right here in Clayton County, Georgia, about maybe 25 minutes south of downtown Atlanta, and played right at Forest Park High School. He was a big star there, and in honor of him and all the things that he's done in the community, they have now named the field officially after him. So again, it's Hines Ward Field at historic Tara Stadium, and good Lord willing, we will be back out there again this fall doing Friday Night Lights as only we can do it, giving you a full live stream broadcast of the high school football game. Also, we cover the halftime show, cheerleaders, the band. We do the whole thing for you. And later on, after the broadcast is over, you also can click back on and we do the actual post game interviews. So, again, guys, keep it locked in. High school football game of the week. And we will be broadcasting to you live again from Tower Stadium. And maybe this year we might be also broadcasting from some different arenas as well as we look to expand our coverage of high school football. And again, many shouts out and appreciations to Allen Vigil Ford and Lincoln. They are located at 6790 Mount Zion Boulevard, right here in the center of Clayton County, right in Morrow. Here's the cool news. You actually have a guy that's your friend at the dealership. Me. You you can go ahead and contact me again if you have any needs for an automobile. My specialty actually is in trucks and commercial vehicles, but we do anything. I'll assist you whether you need a truck for your business, car for yourself. And remember, we do Fords and Lincolns and used cars of every make and model. So please, ma'am, please, sir, if you're in the market, give us a call. Remember, Allen Vigil Ford can be shopped 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net. Okay, let's get into sports. Well, as you know, the NBA playoffs are wide open in full throttle right now, as we are now down to just four, the final four. And we have out in the West, we have the Los Angeles Lakers taking on the Denver Nuggets. I wanted to say Denver Broncos, but I caught myself. And over here in the East, a legendary team also representing one of the two combatants, the Boston Celtics against the Miami Heat. Now, here's the thing that's very, very interesting about these playoff series this year. Been a lot of ups and downs, twists and turns, and been very unpredictable. But it also has been the time and marketplace for epic performances, and we've seen them throughout the playoffs, and we're seeing them right now in these two semifinals as these four really good teams square off. Now let's take a look at the East. Last night, Boston had an opportunity to put themselves back in the series. When I say back in the series, they already lost the first game at home, which is always a no-no because that means you now have basically given up your home court advantage. And certainly Boston did not want to fall down 0-2 to a Miami Heat team which is red hot, led by Jimmy Buckets. They are just lighting it up right now. And certainly the Celtics did not want to find themselves going back 0-2 into Miami. Unfortunately, that's exactly what's going to happen. As the Miami Heat held on after multiple Celtics run to win last night in Boston, final score 111 to 105. And now the Heat have a real stronghold, or some people say stranglehold on this series, up 2 games to none. And now 2 more games that are going to be played in their home court in Florida, in Miami. So Boston Celtics, a team that many people felt was going to be the odds on favorite to win the NBA title, now finds themselves in an 0-2 hole and heading on the road to Miami, where is I can tell you Miami is a tough place to play. And they have, like I said again, Jimmy Buckets, a guy who is Mr. Playoffs. Let's take a look at some of the stats from last night's game. As I mentioned, Jimmy Buckets, well, he was himself, played 43 of 48 minutes, excuse me, 41 of 48 minutes. And the stat line goes like this: 27 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. And he made the clutch plays when he had to. Also had a couple of big steals in the game as well. And helping him out is the big Bam Bam, their center, Bam Adebayo. Big night for him on the glass. 17 rebounds for Bam, but actually was the premier dish man for the Heat, racking up 9 assists to go along with 22 points for so Bam Adebayo certainly was the right hand man for Jimmy Butler, as those two combined for almost 50 points. And lest we forget Caleb Martin, how about his performance in just 32 minutes? Caleb Martin posted 25 points. Duncan Robinson off the bench, 15 points as well. So, yeah, Miami did it up big. Meanwhile, the Celtics, well, they were led by their big one last night. Jason Tatum did everything he could possibly do: 34 points, 13 rebounds, and 6 assists. But his tag team partner, Jaylen Brown, had kind of an off night, only 16 points from Jaylen Brown, and a poor shooting night overall. So, yeah, the Celtics are in trouble, guys. Big, big, big trouble as they find themselves now down excuse me, uh, 0-2, and again having to head on the road and go back to Miami. Robert Williams, um, 13 points off the bench, was not a big a factor as he normally is down low. Like I said, gave up 17 rebounds to Bam Adebayo, and he himself only had 3 rebounds, I think just 1 block. Celtics were out rebounded for the entire game by the Heat. Let's take a look at those numbers. And that's really a tell of the tape. Out rebounded 45 to 35 by the Heat. So, yeah, I don't know what Boston's going to do, but they're going to have to really, really find a way to get this thing turned around, or else they could find themselves getting bounced out. One of the big problems Boston is having is they seem to be unable to consistently hit from three. Last night, only 28% from 3-point range, 10 of 25 for Boston. So, like I said, guys, it really is a tale of the tape here as the Miami Heat roll up to a 2 games to none lead here in the Eastern Division matchup. And it really would be a bad look for Boston if an 8 seed and Miami, they're kind of not really a normal 8 seed. This is a team that has won multiple championships, not necessarily the same team, but they have a history of winning championships under probably one of the most underrated coaches in the league, with Eric Spoelstra. Here's a guy that's won multiple championships, and you never really hear a conversation about him being a great coach or being kind of one of those top tier coaches, but he is. Like I said, multiple championships, and also found himself, being in contention for championships, even with a team that really, like I said, the big superstars that we know of, Dwayne Wade, and then of course they had Dwayne and LeBron, and Chris Bosh. Those guys are all gone, and he still found a way to make this team a consistent winner. Again, they had a little fall off, but they are back right in the middle of it. And so the Celtics are going to have their hands full with this team. Speaking of hands full, let's go out to the West. Los Angeles Lakers, LeBron James. Normally, LeBron, when he gets into this position, he closes out and finds his way into the finals. But right now, again, he's going to have his work cut out for him as the Denver Nuggets did the opposite of what Boston did. They held on in two epic games to take a 2-0 lead, and now will head on the road to the Los Angeles. But again, they did what they had to do, winning both of their games at home. And once again, it was a tale of guys being clutch when they absolutely had to. And who do you mean by that? Well, we know that they have on their team Nikola Jokic, a guy who is a former MVP. But the big story for the Denver Nuggets has been the play of Mr. Jamal Murray. Murray had a game for the ages the other night as he racked up 37 points and a stunning 23 points in quarter number 4 to keep the Los Angeles Lakers at bay and allow his team to take this 2-0 lead. Man, I got to tell you, watching the game, it was really kind of a throwback to the games that you remember, that I remember back in the day, just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And again, clutch play by key players. Let's take a tail of the tape of that game. Let's take a look. LeBron James, a near triple-double in that game, 22 points, 10 assists, and 9 rebounds. Big help from Anthony Davis, 18 points, 14 rebounds, and 4 blocks. But the two guys, and I mentioned this on TikTok and on Instagram, that really stole the show in that game were two guys that, now, in the case of Murray, he's obviously a top player for Denver, but Austin Reeves and Jamal Murray went back and forth like they were two superstars, almost like back in the day and watching Dominique Wilkins and Larry Bird go at, just point for point, point for point. Austin Reeves, 36 minutes, but more importantly, 22 points primarily off the bench. Huge 2 or 3 big 3-pointers in the fourth quarter to keep the Lakers in the game. And really, he was kind of the unsung hero for the Lakers. But as I mentioned, the star of the show was Denver Nuggets guard Jamal Murray. Now, before I get into Murray stats, we got to give a big shout out again to Nikola Jokic, playing the type of game from the center position that we're really not accustomed to. We haven't really seen this on a consistent basis since the late, great Wilt Chamberlain. Nikola Jokic, another triple-double from the center spot, 23 points, 17 rebounds, and a stunning 12 assists from the big man. Yeah, Jokic has just been everything that you would expect out of a former MVP and a top 3 MVP candidate. But let's take a look at Jamal Murray's stats. 43 minutes played. He played more minutes than anybody on that Denver squad. Now, keep in mind, you're in the Mile High area in Denver, so the air is kind of thin up there. Jamal said, I don't care about that. 37 points, 10 rebounds, was actually having a pretty poor shooting game through most of the first 3 quarters, but turned it on and had a record. He is one of only 3 players to hit 20 points or more in the fourth quarter. It's a short list. Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson, and now Jamal Murray. So, yeah, man, it's been great stuff. The 2 picks that I have for the championship are actually ahead 2-0. I picked Denver to win over the Lakers because I think that they are a more solid team. And I think with Nikola Jokic, he just presents too much of a problem in a diversified way. Anthony Davis playing out of his mind. He's been playing extremely well for the Lakers. But again, I think that Jokic is just a little bit more diverse on how he does things. And then, of course, Jamal Murray, if he keeps doing like this, like I said, I predict Denver to go to the NBA Finals. And on the other side, same thing. Miami, Jimmy Buckets, baby. When he gets in the playoffs, he is nothing nice. He is a dominant player, even at age 33. And I think that, we're going to talk some high school football in just a minute. There's a term in football to describe a player that just doesn't quit, a player that's got that mean streak, a player that won't back down from anybody. They simply say he got that dog in him. And that's how Jimmy Butler is. He just got that dog in him along with Bam Adebayo. And really, that's the vibe of the whole Miami team. So, again, those are my picks. Miami versus the Denver Nuggets for the NBA Finals. Well, hey, I just looked at the time, boys and girls. It is time to take a break. But we got some guests coming up on the Real Talk Sports Show. If you want to find out who, you got to keep it locked right here for more of the Real Talk Sports Show. And we'll be back in just a moment. Don't go nowhere.
Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our number one priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net. Hey sports fans, tune in for live high school football Friday, 7:30 p.m. on RealTalkSports.net. Check out your favorite Metro Atlanta teams as they do battle on the gridiron. It's your high school game of the week, live streaming free Friday nights on RealTalkSports.net. For more sports coverage and great sports talk, catch the Real Talk Sports Show Tuesdays, 8 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Twitch. Brought to you by Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, a business giving back to their community. Give them a call at 678-364-3979 or check them out online at allenvigilford.net.
All right, we're back, guys, with the Real Talk Sports Show. Again, I'm your host, the Minister Jonathan Simmons, and we thank God for those of you who are watching and listening to us on multiple platforms. First, a big shout out to those who are listening to us via the airwaves of the legendary WIGO Pacesetter 1570, and also streaming online at WIGO1570.com. Last but not least, for those who like the audio only, you also can download the free TuneIn radio app. If you don't have it, it's an app called TuneIn. Download it, it's free, and you put in WIGO 1570 in the search engine, and voila, you'll find it broadcasting to you right here and right now. Well, hard to believe, guys, that football season is here. And as you know, you saw the commercial earlier, or heard the commercial earlier, that we do high school football, and it is on and popping already in the month of May. And I'm gonna let you guys hear some of the sounds of what high school football sounds like when we are covering the game with a team clad in red. Yes, indeed, guys. That was our coverage of the Jonesboro Cardinals, located right down the road from both the dealership and from our station, WIGO. And we have a special guest with us today. He's the head coach of those Cardinals themselves, Coach Timothy Floyd. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Hey, Coach, good morning. It's hard to believe, man. We're back talking football. You guys are actually on the field. You guys have had already, I believe, your red and white inter-squad scrimmage, and then last night you actually had a scrimmage, or I should say exhibition game, against the Raiders of Riverdale. So how'd that work out?
I start with the red and white game. It was,
Yes,
you know, it was really good. I think we learned a lot from that game to help prepare us for the scrimmage with Riverdale last night. And I thought, we saw a lot of things that we were looking for, a lot of areas that we need to improve upon. So we got to get back to work June 5th and work on those things.
What are some of the things that you kind of are looking for when, first of all, I know you start your practice first in the inter-squad game? What are kind of some things that you and some of the other coaches are looking at or looking for in the players in that first kind of, really out there kind of clacking helmets?
First, how physical we can be, how fast we can go, how fast we could play, learning assignments, and just picking up on the technique and fundamentals that we had been working on, for a week or so.
Yeah, man, it's good stuff. And like I said, again, it was just interesting to come out there because not only were you guys practicing, but your legendary band, they were out in full throttle practicing as well. Matter of fact, I heard that the band is going to be traveling on the road to the Macy's parade.
Yes, very exciting news. They'll be going to Macy's parade. I'm hoping I can, join in as a stowaway, Mr. Goodwin. So pretty excited.
That'd be pretty good. And I tell you, I might head back up there because I'm actually from the area. Grew up maybe about 50 miles away from downtown New York. Haven't been home for a while, so who knows? I might pop my way back up there as well to check it out. But just remind you, Coach, it does get a little nippy in November up north.
Yeah, it'll be fun though. A lot of exciting stuff going on for the band, so I'm sure I'll probably be able to hop in one of those band hoodies and be
There you go.
warm.
Well, Coach, did you bring anybody else with you? I know a lot of time you bring some of your coaches and players, or you're here solo this morning.
Well, I have Coach Alexander here with me. We call him Coach Damo. He's a receivers coach, also alumni of Jonesboro High School. Coached him many years ago. He went on to play college football, and we're super excited to have him back. I think this is maybe his third year back coaching with us.
Yes, sir. Going on 4.
Well, Coach Domo, first of all, man, welcome to the show. I appreciate having you on here. We like to give Jonesboro a lot of love, and so tell people a little bit of what it means for you to come back and coach at the high school that you played at, and now on the staff of a coach that coached you.
Thank you so much. I'm very appreciative of it. Coach Floyd always stayed in my corner throughout my college career, and it means a lot. I love Jonesboro to death, so it means just more to me to be back and to instill into the young men that I had the opportunity to coach, for everything that I've been through, to just help guide them in life inside of football, and just help them to be able to go to the next level if God so want them to, and just to help keep them out of trouble, keep them motivated, and just it means more for the Jonesboro community and Clayton County itself. So it means a lot to be back home.
Coach, I know it's gonna make you feel good, man. Anytime alumni come back to support the program is always good, but to actually kind of be a part of the staff, it's gotta make you feel good as well.
Yeah, it does. We have Coach Damo and Coach Jeff both played for us, went on to college, came back, pouring into the guys, like you said. So it's really exciting. I feel a lot of joy when I, walk out on the field with them every day.
Yeah, no doubt. And so now, Coach, let me ask you, what have you kind of seen, as you know, and you're part of this history, Jonesboro's always brought some great receivers. What are you looking for as far as from your end, kind of in these beginning games? What are you kind of looking for out of your receiving room?
So looking forward to the receivers. Every day we come in, just work hard, also firing off the ball, and just effort with blocking, staying locked in on catches. So finishing the catch, running high and tight, and getting yards after the catch. So, and then also knowing where to line up, and also just helping out each other and trying to keep the group family oriented and just help each other to compete every day. Don't get complacent or settle with anything less than that, and also just trying to be better than the last day that we had.
Well, it seems like you write in the coach's theme, man, because every time I have you guys on the program, it's always talking about improvement, getting better, and trying to make things happen. Coach, style of play this year, what are we looking for from you guys? Is it going to be a power game, or you guys going to open it up? What are kind of things that people can look forward to when they watch the Cardinals this year?
Well, we most definitely want to get the running game established, and I think do everything based off the running game. Whether it's that we have some talented backs, and we want to get them the ball, and some are power, and some are guys that get in space. So we super excited to see what we can get done with that, and hoping the running game can open up a lot of other things for us.
So the big thing is, as usual, it's all about that running game and getting it done. Now, one of the things that I enjoyed last year watching you guys is that now you guys have your own name for the package, but I used to tell people I call it the Jumbotron package. It seemed like you pick like the 4 biggest guys on the team, put them in that backfield, and said, try and see if you can stop us. Well, we see a repeat of that this year. I see some guys on the team that look like they got a little size to them, Coach.
Yeah, you most definitely will see that. We call it Black Ops, and all the linemen every year in the offseason, coach, I'm ready for Black Ops. I want to be the guy to get the ball and run. But you'll most definitely see that. And they get super excited about it because, like I say, most of the time they doing the blocking, but now they might get a chance to, pound it in.
Yeah, now most of the people that, well, maybe some of the people are watching this, certainly um, probably none of the players. You guys have to Google it up, your current players. But if they put in William the Refrigerator Perry, you will see the genesis of the Black Ops. As the big man got the ball and pounded away. And yeah, I got to tell you, Coach, every time even when I was up above the stands, because we're fortunate that when we stream your games, we're not up on the roof. We're actually literally right behind the top of the stands, so we get a chance to see the energy and reaction, man. And as soon as you get those 3rd and 1 or 4th and inch, and you run the big boys out, yeah, man, the fans know it's coming. It's coming. So yeah, it's just great to see that. Now, do you know yet what your scheduling is for this year, the 2023 season?
Yeah, we do. It's basically the same schedule, except for all of the all the away games will be home games for us. I think we may have 7 home games this year because we were on the road a lot last year. Some of the games that stand out, of course, with school around the corner the first week. And, we got Dutchtown coming to town and going up to Cartersville. Then we'll start our region play after that.
Now, Cartersville, traditionally, they're one of the toughest teams in the state. How does it help you playing tough opponents early in the season as far as kind of, getting your team ready for hopefully, regional and later on statewide play?
Throughout my career, I've always believed that, playing those teams to get you ready for region play. And, they're one of those teams that's going to be competing for it. And it's kind of a measuring stick, but it's also okay, I need to work a little bit more on this from the coaches and the players. Because number one goal is to not get out coached and to not be out physical. And playing those types of games will get a chance to kind of, don't want to say measure, but I do want to say measure at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, what's still saying, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And certainly, Cartersville has had a legendary record in high school football here in Georgia and even around the Southeast. So, man, the fact that you guys get a chance to take those guys on early in the season, and yeah, you do kind of get a feel for what your team can do. And I'm sure it even helps you in terms of fine-tuning various schemes and plays that you might run later on.
Mm-hmm. And it's an exciting environment up there also. So it's a lot of stuff packed in early in the season, to prepare us what may be, coming down the line.
Yeah, I know you guys always get excited about that team around the corner. that is usually, and I will say this, and even give a shout out to the fans of Mount Zion. Traditionally, that is either the most watched or one of the top 3 most watched of all of our high school football broadcasts that we do every year, man. The number of people that log on to watch that game. And I'm thinking, well, y'all right down the street. They're like, no, we can't get out. We're going to watch this game. So kudos to you and the folks over at Mount Zion for really kind of, keeping things exciting for the fans and keeping a rivalry up without it getting out of hand. Because that's the other thing, too. I want to compliment you and even the coaches from Mount Zion. The fact that, when I go to the games, the fans have energy. There's excitement, even on the field, but we don't have it spill into something that, that nobody wants in terms of violence on or off the field. So yeah, man, big shout out to your staff, your players, and also same thing for the fans of both teams, your team and Mount Zion.
Yeah, I agree. It is a rivalry on the field, but it's our community. Clayton County Public Schools is our community, and we all set out to represent our community well.
Yeah, that's the one thing I always notice when I get a chance to cover you guys. Even when I cover the media days, when I go around to different coaches, say, hey man, when we playing one another, we want to win. But at the end of the day, we want to see as many Clayton County teams get into the regional and state playoffs because, like I said, you want to represent the county, man. So, yeah, that's love that love. All right, man, we're getting ready to wrap it up here. Next, you guys have another preseason game, or after this, you go right into the regular season?
We'll start off-season workouts June 5th, and we'll have a preseason game against Trinity Christian. I think it's either August 4th or August 5th, whatever that Friday is. So, that's another tough
squad,
task,
yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
But I think it most definitely helped us prepare for the season.
Oh, no doubt. Well, let's do this. I know, Coach, you sometimes get a little challenged about all your social media. First of all, how can people follow you personally on social media to keep up with what's going on with Jonesboro and with you, sir?
I believe I am Coach D Floyd across all social media outlets.
There we go.
Whatever the Twitter tag may be, the TikTok tag may be, the Facebook tag, Coach D Floyd. You can find me there.
Well, we're going to help you out with the team. Here we go, guys. For people who are watching, there it is on the screen right there. Follow them on Instagram at JHS Cardinal Football, or you can follow them on Twitter at JHS Cardinal FB. All right, Coach Dono, how can people follow you? You got a Twitter handle or IG where they can check you out?
Yes, sir. It's one Tiptoe Domo, and then my training page is Tiptoe Training.
See, that's a wide receiver right there, Coach. He knows. Got to keep it in bounds, baby. That's it. Listen, guys, we appreciate you for joining us again, folks. One more time, if you want to check out what's going on with Jonesboro High School, certainly follow them at Jonesboro Cardinal Football on IG or JHS Cardinal Football on Twitter. Hey, guys, listen, thanks for joining us, man. Go ahead, pop in.
I want to, wish good luck to our mock trial team, who's actually competing in the national tournament this weekend. So good luck to them.
Congratulations, man, because it obviously we want to support the athletics, but the operative things I tell everybody, the name is student athlete, and student comes first.
Right, we most definitely push student athlete, and I got different thoughts about student coming first, being a student athlete, but we'll say that for another
show. See, people, that's why I tell you, it's the Real Talk Sports. You never know what you might get. Listen, Coach, we appreciate you for joining us. And here, then this guy's in the green room, but I'm gonna pop him on real quick before he comes on, because I think this fella right here. He's now at Tri-Cities High School. Coach Hack is in the building. What's up, sir?
What's up, man? I'm glad I don't see Coach Floyd no more, man. That's the only reason I left Clayton County, because I was scared of Coach Floyd and them Jonesboro Cardinals. They beat up on my poor little Raiders last night, but it's all good.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think I'm 0 for lifetime versus Coach Hack.
Well, it is right there. Well, listen, everybody, we appreciate you guys for joining us from Jonesboro. And listen, and for those of you who are listening on WIGO, keep it locked right here. Same thing for those of you who are watching on Roku and on social media, because we'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show and a little chat with our buddy Coach Hack in just a moment. Don't go nowhere. Thank you.
Did you know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia also has Lincoln? Over 35 years of using the Vigil Touch to provide excellent customer service, works hand in hand with the Lincoln Motor Company to provide a luxurious and seamless way to acquire your next luxury vehicle. Lincoln has an array of full-service complimentary owner benefits. These benefits include hospitality partnerships, service pickup and delivery, all which can be accessed through the Lincoln Way app. You can even contact the 24/7 concierge to have someone assist you. Come and see our great inventory of new and pre-owned Lincolns today. Call 678-364-7345 to make an appointment with one of our brand champions, or shop 24/7 online at allenvigillincoln.net.
All right, I think we're back here, and there we are. You are watching and listening to the Real Talk Sports Show. I have in the building with me a good friend of the show, Coach Hack is back. Well, man, listen, first of all, welcome back to the show.
Hey, man, thanks a lot for having me. I appreciate it. You guys I think I started with you a long time ago back in the day, so I do have some memories of us, man. So we have some history together, but thanks for inviting me on. And I apologize for my background. I'm in my car. One of my coaches at my new school passed away
Whoa.
for leukemia, man. He was fighting this battle, and I'm at his funeral. So I started. I do have to leave out at 10:45.
I saw that. Yep. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, but I appreciate you inviting me on. But let's get going, man. I appreciate you having me. And I know we're not talking Clayton County, but I will talk some about Clayton because it's been real good to me. And but also where I'm headed to is in Fulton County High School. So.
Well, first of all, we want to just let people know that although we do most of our coverage in Clayton County, we are dedicated to cover what I like to call a Southern Crescent, which is the real main three counties down here on the south side, which is Clayton County, Henry County, and South Fulton. Especially now that I'm a resident of South Fulton, got to show some love over there. And so you're after real. And we do have a history of Tri-Cities. We have covered some Tri-City games over the years. Matter of fact, Tri-Cities Your former AD is part of one of the funniest and probably most memorable episodes of the Real Talk Sports Show. Jonesboro had went over to play them a couple of years ago in a game that was probably one of the best high school football games of that year, where Jonesboro
Uh-huh.
came back from, I think, 10 points down to win with like 40 seconds to go. Anyway, the AD somehow or another did not get my advance notice that, hey, I'm going to come and cover the game. So I got there. He's like, hey, man, we don't let no live streamers in. We've had problems with people charging. And even though I explained to him we don't do any of that, he said no. Well, I'm already booked to be on the air. So I'm like, well, I have to make it do what it do. Well, they make a long story short.
Yeah.
After him asking me not to stream, I kind of snuck back in and streamed again, and he caught us in I think midway through the third quarter. And while the show was going on, he said, "I told you." And a matter of fact, I have a policeman here to help you out. And so people were literally on YouTube, "Hey man, I think they arrested the cameraman." And yeah, right in the middle of the show, man, we kind of got showing off the air, and that was it. So
Yeah.
yeah, man, that's
That's classic
yes,
Kenneth
sir.
Miller right there. That's
Yes,
him.
indeed,
That's
man.
him.
So, that's it. But anyway, yeah, we appreciate you. And first of all, we do again want to offer condolences to the family of your coach and to the entire Tri-Cities family. And
Yeah.
may everyone be blessed and be comforted by God
Yeah.
as they go through really a difficult time. Because that's a young man whose life is gone,
Yes.
but thank God he had a big impact in his community before he left us.
Yeah, his name was Darryl Caldwell. A lot of people probably know him. He was a head coach at Kip Academy at one time, and then he also worked at Washington for many years, Washington High School. And his last stint was Lithia Springs with Corey Jarvis. So a lot of people know him. He was a part of Mega Phi Psi fraternity. So great kid, great guy, man. It's just a sad day for all of us, but God knows what he's doing, so I don't question it.
Sure he does. We celebrate his life, man, because it's not how long he lived, but oftentimes how much impact. And it sounds like really from his coaching days, all the young men that he touched and families he touched, man. So shout out to him. All right, let's talk about Tri-Cities football. This is a school that's had some good teams. What are we looking for from Tri-Cities this year? If I'm going to watch a game, what's kind of the style I'm going to see from Coach Hack's Tri-City Bulldogs?
Well, I've been around a while. Anybody know that I'm gonna try to instill discipline first. I think that's a common key to winning any winning football team. So that's the first thing we're trying to do. That was our main focus. Our motto is "for such a time as this," and that's a biblical verse, but
That's right.
we're using it more for that everything that goes on is happening for a reason, and we try to live in that process every day, and we try to be where our feet are. So when we're in the practice field, what we're doing, we try to make sure we're focused in that concept. So I'm trying to bring a total focus. We're bringing a total different scheme to what they're used to. Our offensive packages is definitely a little bit more run oriented. You've done my games before. We want to establish the run, and then we use our play action passes sometimes to try to, gain advantages on the defensive goal. And I'm trying to get my DC to come on too, but he's maybe log on in a second or two.
Okay.
But Coach Schultz has been with me for years, man, since my North Clayton days. He's still my defensive coordinator. We were actually college roommates, and he's just a great guy, man. He came on with me, and he's gonna do my defense. And we're a 3-4, 3-5 scheme. So we just mix it in. We're very multiple on both sides of the ball. And so, like I said, first we're going to try to put a disciplined football player on the field. And then second, we're going to try to make it exciting offense and defense by giving you multiple schemes that, I think the kids enjoy too. And the people enjoy watching as well.
Well, I know one thing from watching you guys over the years, you're all about the attack. And it seems like you're going to bring that same thing to Tri-Cities, man. Bring in pressure from, like you said, multiple looks on defense. And then on offense, it's explosive, but it's explosive in the old school way. You're gonna get a lot of ground and pound, which Coach Hack. I mean, you'll get a lot of that.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I believe you have to run the football at every level, even the NFL. Like those people that run the football usually going to win championships. So we try to make sure we do that. We establish the run, and I think it just opens everything else up once you establish the run.
No doubt, man. All the most explosive plays are from the fact that if you can't stop a team on the ground, you're starting to pull guys up. You can't really run that cover two or other defenses that are designed to stop the pass. And then, as you notorious to do, you lull them to sleep, man. All of a sudden,
yeah. That's
Coach Shaq gets you
that's
that little. That big roundhouse,
Yeah,
baby.
that's been my claim to fame, and I'm trying to get my quarterback to realize that when we do throw the ball, people are going to be wide open. You just got to complete it. My
Right.
last successful quarterback was Avon Rucker at Riverdale, and he ended up passing for almost 1,800 yards. But he ended up getting a scholarship. He didn't have any offers going to his senior year, but he ended up getting a scholarship his senior year just because of his senior performance. So he finally bought into it. I had him for 3 years, but he kind of figured it out by his senior year that, hey, people are wide open when we run the ball so much. You just got to complete the passes.
Like I said again, the people of Tri Cities, they're going to be excited. I believe to kind of watch what you're doing and to see your program, and I think it's going to be a blessing for them to kind of, especially when you have an unfortunate tragedy to start the season, to have somebody like yourself that's, a guy that's been stable, guy's been in the community for a long time, to kind of keep that stability and keep that focus on, hey, let's continue to move forward and continue to grow as a group. All right, now, do you guys have another preseason game or any preseason game coming up, or do you go
Yeah,
right?
August 4th, we'll be playing Northview. We didn't do it. We didn't do a spring scrimmage because I got there pretty much right when spring practice started. We
Sure.
did an inter squad scrimmage. And it was pretty good. We had it was a good showing. A couple of parents came out. We didn't publicize it too much, but the kids did very well. They bought into it. We had one little small sprain, kid injury, so we did have a kid to get injured, but it's a sprain. I think ACL maybe.
Okay.
But other than that, we're healthy. Our numbers are a little low, but we didn't have any eighth graders come out right now. We just deal with the upcoming 10th graders, 11th and 12th. So for our, we got some work to do, but we're excited. It was a good one step. We're headed to looking for June 5th. On June 5th, we're going to try to make sure we get everything put together and get those guys ready for the August 4th scrimmage versus Northview. And it's going to be at Northview.
So you like Coach Floyd? I want to test the metal right off the rip. Northview, a legendary
Yeah,
program in the state of Georgia, and
yeah.
big following. So big test for you guys coming right out of the shoot.
Well, it's a Fulton County thing. It was already established before I got there. But the North plays the South, and that's kind of how they've been doing it for the last couple of years. But yeah, it's going to be a test for us just because we haven't played out of the city much. We Most of our region games are inside the city limits, so now we're going way far as north we can go as
Yes,
Fulton
sir.
County goes. And we got to play a tough team. I don't know a lot about them because I haven't played them before, but it's definitely going to be a team that I think that respect us and we're gonna respect them.
Oh, no doubt, man. And again, just like Coach Floyd said earlier, you want to kind of test your team. You want to see what you have as a coaching staff, what you have as players on the field. And I think the players like it. I mean, people like to play against top quality competition. Like I said, over the years,
Well,
Northview has had a real good football program up there. So I'm excited for you and excited for what the team is going to do. Listen, I know you have to get ready to hop off and go into,
yeah,
unfortunately, the funeral. Again, we
yeah,
appreciate you coming on. If your
yeah.
DC is available, I'll keep the link open for him. He can
Okay.
hop on and join us. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Jonathan. Thanks for everything you done over the years, man. You've been a true holder in the community. I think what you do with your shows, and I see you evolving. I remember we was in the back of a studio last time I did this with you, so it's been a while. I see you evolving now. This is a nice little setup that you have, and I think it's good for the fans as well. So appreciate you again, man. From all the people from Clayton County, like I said, I had a great tenure in Clayton. I did 15 years in Clayton County. So it's kind of sad to go, but everything, change happens, and people have to move on. But I definitely had a great career there, and I'm definitely looking to finish out my career in the Fulton County schools.
No doubt, man. Well, listen, I appreciate your kind comments just to let people know who are listening
Yeah,
from the South Fulton area that WIGO has new ownership. We have a nice young woman. She is a Morehouse mom, and she has been feverishly getting the station back up to a full-blown station. So we're now basically full 5,000 watts. You can hear us all around Metro Atlanta, including, of course, South Fulton. And we are live
well,
streaming again on WIGO 1570. So, yeah, she's committed to want to make sure that we cover things of all aspects. So, yeah, man, the next time we come back in the studio, it's a brave new look now. Yes,
I
we're in a
bet,
whole different
I bet.
situation, man. So it's a good deal. But listen, Coach Jack, again, we appreciate
Well,
you.
let me know anytime I like to come on. Just let me know. That's fine.
We'll do it, man. And condolences to
All right.
the Tri-City family.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. That's Coach Hackney of Tri-Cities. Unfortunately, sadly, one of their assistant coaches has passed away due to leukemia. So we are sad to hear that, but we look forward to hopefully having him back on with us. in happier times. Well, I tell you what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to take a quick little early break, and I'm going to go into the studios of WIGO because I think there's some things happening at the legendary WIGO that you guys need to know. And the only way you're going to find out, you got to keep it locked right here for more of the Real Talk Sports Show. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go anywhere, please. Thank you very much. Thank you.
The day has arrived. It's time to let more people know about your business. You have the right marketing plan and the messaging in place. But do you have the right messenger? Good advertising and promotions need a professional sound so the message can be clearly understood. Don't leave your brand image to chance. Let our team of voiceover experts at CME lend you a hand. Give us a call at 678-304-8121 to find out how we can partner with you to give your business its voice.
This is OJ Howard with Real Talk Sports.
What's up, guys? This is Tim Tebow. You're listening to Real Talk Sports.
This is Charles Woodson. Let me grab the mic. You ready? This is Charles Woodson with Real Talk Sports. Hey, it's your boy JB Smooth with Real Talk Sports.
We're back, guys. The final segment here of the Real Talk Sports Show. Again, I'm your host, Minister Jonathan Simmons, and we're broadcasting to you on multiple platforms, including live from the studios of the legendary WIGO 1570 Pacesetter, 1570 AM. Also, you can hear them online at WIGO1570.com. Remember, you can follow us anywhere on social media at Real Talk Sports, the number 7. Or you can follow me at Minister J Sim. We appreciate the follow. And also, please go to our YouTube page and subscribe to the Real Talk Sports page. It's actually technically Real Talk Sports TV. Please join us. All right. We want to get to the studios of WIGO, where we have our producer is on the line. Lady E, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Wow, I love your voice, Jonathan, by the way. I never told you that, but I'm telling you today.
Well, I feel the love. I feel the love. And certainly every time you come on, it's always like it's almost like you go by a nice brook and the water just you can hear the brook just like kind of in the background, nice and smooth. That's how you are, lady. You come in nice and smooth and gentle and easy. And if they want to hear that more, how can they do that?
Well, you can tune in tomorrow at 5 p.m. Excuse me, my voice is, I'm getting a little nervous for whatever reason, but
that's all right. You with me, you good.
Yes, the show is called The History, the Song, the Artist. I've been on the story of Faith Evans, the first lady of hip hop. An amazing story, by the way. And I also feature artists that's been associated with her. So tomorrow I'll be featuring in her story the legendary Foxy Brown. So tune in tomorrow at 5 p.m. on the legendary WIGO 1570 Pacesetter.
Foxy Brown. Not the sexy Foxy Brown. Not that.
not Pam Grier, but
look, Foxy Brown and I'm trying to think. I just drew it blank, but her and little Kim, buddy boy. People talking about Real Talk Sports Show. Those two ladies kept it real, and I would say the other word, they kept it kind of raw as well. They didn't hold no punches when it came to life and love. You were getting the real situation from those two ladies for sure. But they were part of the lexicon, part of the culture of hip hop, and even to some degree R&B music back in the 80s and 90s, primarily in the 90s. And man, they were like, hey, you coming to our concert, you getting what you're looking for, maybe what you're not looking for, but you're getting the whole package uncensored from those two ladies. So, but that was part of her story.
Yeah, uncensored, but definitely made their mark in the hip hop industry.
You are correct, Mundo. So speaking of making a mark in question, well, they just erased my question. Well, that's okay. Let's see if I can find it again. So the question I'd like to ask everybody and ask you, Lady E, about the Falcons. Now we know that camp. We just had the rookie camp, and everybody's been talking about the Falcons' first-round pick, Bijan Robinson, about how stellar he looked, and how he looks like he's going to be a huge part of this offense, and the Falcons are going to be explosive. But there's also been a lot of pushback from I say almost half the Falcon fans saying we ain't need no more offense. Our defense stunk.
And
Where's the defensive players?
yeah, we need some more defense. Yeah, definitely, because they were kind of weak last year. So I don't know if they're still signing, but we need some strength there for sure.
Yes, I mean, certainly they made some moves in free agency. They brought in a guy who I felt that they should have got in a long time ago. A guy like when he was at the University of Kentucky, Bud Dupree. He's probably the big signing as far as a quote unquote edge rusher. Certainly they signed the linebacker Cadis from New Orleans, who had a decent year last year, had about 7 sacks. So they did bring a couple of guys in. And of course, the biggest signing as far as the name is Calais Campbell, not necessarily known as a huge sack guy, but just a giant of a man at about 6'8". I think he's 6'8", 330 or 340. And he's also a giant man off the field. He's been a multi-year contender for Man of the Year and Man of the Year, I believe it was 2 years ago. So they have added some key pieces, but I was really thinking they were going to add another legitimate high-end pass rusher in that first round, especially since a couple of guys were available. So that's the big question I'm going to put up on the screen here. Should the Falcons have drafted an edge rusher?
Yes.
I'll tell you, they drafted the young man out of Ohio State, but he's a guy that is known for his potential. Physically a big man. I think he stands at 6'6", 275, huge wingspan, and certainly on paper and physically looking at him, you would think he would be a big addition to the team, but he wasn't a star player. It seemed like he really never caught stride at Ohio State until maybe the tail end of the season of his senior year. So people wonder, why would you pick a guy who's a project versus,
Right.
if you're the 8th pick, why don't you pick a guy who's like already a bona fide star at the, defensive position? So yeah, there's a lot of pushback by Falcons fans, and someone popped it up here on the screen for those of you who are watching. And so my question is, should the Falcons have drafted a defensive player?
Yeah.
And I've said in the first round. Let's just make it plain. At pick in the first round, because they did draft defensive players. But that's my question. Should they have drafted one in the first round?
Well, I guess we'll see, won't we? Very soon.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, the Falcons, the one thing I will say, that at least one of the things that was a problem with them in previous years, offensive line, it does appear, at least on the right side, the two guys, ironically, that were drafted by the previous regime have now finally come to fruition. A lot of people may or may not know, but Caleb McGarry and why am I drawing a blank here on the other lineman? Chris Lindstrom, they were actually drafted. They were the last guys drafted in the last draft by, Thomas Dimitroff, who had been lambasted, and rightfully so, from his inability to be able to draft linemen. Well, they actually moved up so they could basically draft these guys back to back in the first round. And now the first couple of years, especially with McGarry, people are thinking, dude, you wasted a pick. But now Chris Lindstrom is now rated as one of the best offensive linemen in football. And Caleb McGarry, he had an off season that was just monstrous. The guy basically turned himself into Superman, lost a lot of that baby fat. And last year he had a really good year, especially blocking on the run. So it seems like on the right side of the defense, offense, they really have some studs there. So I guess they were thinking, hey, we got an offensive line. We got, Matthews, who's been with us for years and years on the left tackle spot. He's solid. Hey, we need to score more points. So that's their thinking, and picking up a guy like Bijan Robinson. Everybody's saying, oh, he's a, what do they call him? I love how they use this term. They call him a once in a generational player. Really? mean, I didn't remember him being one of the guys nominated for the Heisman. I mean,
Right.
you know, when you talk once a generation, you talking Reggie Bush, you talking, guys like that. You may be maybe talking like guys from back in the day, like Barry Sanders, who rushed
Hmm.
for like 2,200 yards in 10 games. That's a once in a generational player.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe their
so
meaning is from your meaning.
yeah, because look, at the end of the day, I mean, here's the thing. I get, lady, what the mindset is behind drafting a guy like Bijan Robinson. As you know, as a Falcon fan, one of the fan favorites of the last 2 years has been Cordell Patterson. He's
Hmm.
been like a beast, but he's been like a Swiss Army knife beef. He can run the ball, he
Yes.
can catch the ball in the backfield, he can return punts and kicks. So I understand that they want a player like him, or like San Francisco has a younger version of him in Debo Samuels.
Mm.
I get that. So if in fact if he can give you that kind of production and allow Cordell Patterson to basically be fresh for the whole season. I mean, I think he was fresh last year, but basically have him at full strength whenever you
Yeah.
need him. I can see from a guy who's an offensive coordinator where you'd love to have all those fancy, shiny tools in the toolbox.
Hmm.
The big question is going to be for the Falcons is that, okay, now you've made this investment, you bypass getting a defensive player. Two things are going to have to happen. Number one, the guys they picked up in free agency, the Bud Duprees, the Calais Campbells, these guys are going to have to push that needle. And same thing with Cadis from New Orleans. They're going to have to find a way to get the Falcons to get up. I ain't looking for them to be a top 10 defense. I don't care if they're a top 15 defense. I'd like them at least getting to the top 20 or towards the middle of the pack, where instead of being dead last in sacks, you at least can get somewhere in that 35 to 40 sack range.
Yeah.
If they do that with the improved offense, this Falcon team can be dangerous, Lady E.
Hmm. I am hoping for that latter word you just said.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that this team is going to be a team. I've already went on record. I've already said I believe the Falcons are going to win 10 or possibly 11 games and go to the playoffs, and at least win one playoff game and possibly two. So I'm already on the hook for this. And like I said again, I think it's because that offense, if in fact, I don't need guys to have a superstar year. If these guys can just give me 95% of their potential,
Yes.
I think this team is going to be nothing nice, because I think Coach Arthur Smith is going to be dialing up some stuff that's going to remind us of when we had Kyle Shanahan in here and the year we went to the Super Bowl, where you just saw Falcons scoring at will.
Mm.
I'm kind of thinking that you may not see them score as many points, but their offense, I think, is going to be to the point where this team is going to win 10 or 11 games, and they're going to be a very, very difficult team to beat because they're going to be able to control the clock and control the ball. So I'm
Yes.
on the hook, 10 or 11 wins.
Okay. Well, we will see what happens. I will be there live and screaming.
Good Lord willing, me too.
James.
And speaking of watching the clock, I can't believe it's almost time for us to go.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to get out of your way because there's a live show after you.
I knew that. I
So
knew that.
You have a wonderful and blessed day, and we will see you again next Saturday.
Okay, one more time before we leave. How can people find out more about you, date, time, and place of the show, and social media where people can follow you too?
Well, I am on Facebook and my phone is ringing, Jonathan. So real quick.
All right. She says she got to go. All right, lady. God bless. All right. And we thank God for those of you listening to WIGO 1570. Keep it locked right there for more of great music and great programming on WIGO 1570. It's now the legendary WIGO Pace of the 1570, or WIGO1570.com. Remember, guys, you also can follow me anywhere on social media and follow the show. Please follow the show, Real Talk Sports, the number 7. Or you can follow me personally at Minister J Sims. You can see it right there down beneath my name. Like, there we go. I got to follow it. There we go. Boom. And there it is. And here's the other thing. If, in fact, you have a great topic, or you know someone in the field of sports that's done some good stuff and you think they should be highlighted, or just really just a good story, there's information right there. Hit me up in an email, jsimmons@realtalksports.net, or simply text me or call me 678 410-9833. Love to have you or the person you select on the air with us. Well, I'm actually a real life minister. So before I go, I'm going to ask you, do you know the Lord Jesus Christ, your personal Savior? If the answer to that is no, I'm going to ask you, please, man, please, sir, get to know him today. Why? Because nobody loves you like Jesus. He did something unbelievable. He came here upon the earth, fully God, fully man, and died for your sins. But more importantly, rose from the dead. So he can now offer you, as he did to me, which I accepted, two great things. Number one, you become a citizen of the kingdom of heaven, and you become an adoptive child of God with all the rights therein. Number two, what that means, you now can go to God like a heavenly parent, asking for anything that you need or desire, and of course, according to his will, he'll give it to you. And if and when you die, you go to that wonderful place called heaven, where there's none of the following: no pain, no pandemic, you never get old, you never die. It's beautiful and sunny all the time because the glory of God illuminates the whole kingdom, and it's the most beautiful place ever created. You avoid that nasty place where called hell, where all the places, all the things I just described that are in heaven aren't in hell. So it's dark, it's dreary, it's painful, and it's horrific, bad people everywhere, and most of all, you're cut off from God and the people of love forever and a day. I don't know about you, but I like option number one instead of option number two. All right, guys, until next time that we get together again, I do it. God bless you and have a wonderful rest of your day. So long now.